Okay, I've had some requests about how I like the ULA Catalyst versus my Osprey Atmos 65 AG. I think overall they're kind of very comparable. There's some advantages and disadvantages of each. Overall, it's big enough to handle everything that I need to put in it. Okay, and the flexibility of the roll top as I resupply, and there's more in the pack versus when I'm almost ready to resupply and there's less in the pack. That's easily adjustable up and down, and it works really good. Let me tell you about some of the pros of the pack. It's lightweight, or it's lighter than I mean, it's not an ultralight pack, it's a lightweight pack. It's still in about the 3-pound range. I think it's about a pound and a half less than my Osprey, maybe less if you take the Osprey brain off. I've now gotten, that's one of the things I missed, is having the brain. I'm now used to not having it, and it works out okay. What I end up doing is the compact trash compactor liner that I put in it, because this is not a waterproof bag by any means, not even close. The Osprey hit was a little bit better. It's more water resistant. This is pretty much not water resistant at all. So you definitely have to have a liner bag in it, or have your stuff in in waterproof sacks. I kind of do both. I have a lot of my important stuff in sacks, and then everything's in that liner, and then I'll fold it down, and then stuff that I need during the day is on top of that on my tent in case it's wet. It stays outside of the compactor sack. Sometimes if my right now I keep my ground cloth, in the net here. But if it's been a little wet, I may put it up there, or if it's going to rain, I may put it inside to help keep it dry. So when I go to set it up, I'm not putting my tent on a wet ground tarp. The some of the things that are also beneficial that I really like on this pack, these pockets are on the hip belt are much more substantial than what is in the Osprey. And I thought that was my big complaint about the Osprey. Also, how this hip belt works is you have the buckle, and you have a top and a bottom pole. And what this allows it to do is this can move back and forth depending upon your body type, and or as you lose weight, you can kind of adjust this differently. The 65 AG was so rigid that you pretty much, it was where it was going to stay. There was no back and forth adjustment. In fact, there was only one pole. Excuse me, kind of a little cold the other night. I got cold. So I like this. It allows more of this hip belt surface here to actually fit and touch your body. Where the Osprey, it tended to only have one spot, which tended to be the very bottom part that would actually touch your body, and that put a little more pressure and friction in that area, and I tended to develop some kind of what we'll call wear sores. As a matter of fact, there was a time where I had a wound that kind of opened up, and it took me an extra day, I think, in Daleville to kind of let it heal. Excuse me. I do like the bottle holders here. I use this one on this side just to keep my sweat rag there, so I can get to it easily. And I tend to use this one for the water bottles, and you've seen that in my videos. I like that a lot. Somebody asked about pulling. The stitching here on this tension on this compression strap, I notice sometimes is getting pretty strained right through here. Haven't noticed that on these yet. I do know that one of the ways they tell you to put this on is to grab your hanging hook here, lift it up, and then swing your arms into the shoulder straps instead of trying to grab this just one at a time and pull it up. That's actually very hard on a backpack to put all the strain on one of those. One thing I wish I had done, and this is important, foot stomp here. If you're a girl, or if you're a guy with a barrel chest like I have, they offer S straps, and the S straps come in further and then come down. I wish I'd done that, because this edge on these with my barrel chest on both sides tend to get up into my armpits, so I end up having to loosen up the strap more than you would normally want it to be, and then pull the chest strap in more to get that off. And then what that happens is then only this inside edge ends up riding on my chest, and it's lifted off my chest on this side. So if I had to do it over again, barrel chested guys, okay, get the S straps. That was a recommendation at Neil's Gap when I initially looked at this pack and didn't get it, is the guy was like, get the S straps. And for sure, if you have a bust line, the S straps are kind of designed as a result of for women, so it makes it a lot easier for you. So anyway, that's something to consider. One of the things I first noticed is this hydration port here tends to buckle, and it's just open. So if you were not using a pack cover and just relying upon your trash liner and letting your bag get wet in the rain, you're going to have an entry here of water that's going to go into your pack. And guess what there is not on the bottom here? There's no drain holes. So it's either going to get real wet, and you're probably going to be carrying extra weight if you're walking in the rain without a pack cover on. So something you're going to have to consider. For the water bottle, the stuff on the side here, excuse me, trying to film with one hand and do this with another hand. So you see my 1 liter bottle here. It sits nicely, kind of covered back in the back. The problem is that puts the weight further away from your spine, okay, and that's not good. So I end up putting my water bottle close by, and then shoving my filter or my toiletry kit or whatever back behind here. It continuously wants to go there, okay, but that's not where I want the weight. I want the weight up front. And of course, if you want to be able to get it out, reach back and get it, you're going to want to have it be closer anyway to be able to get it. So it's one of those things where is it an irritant? No, not necessarily. And you can adjust this too. There's a tension here that you can tighten that up. I can get the bottle out by kind of pushing down here and kind of pushing it up, if you will. But I can't get the bottle back in with the pack off. That's one of the reasons I think I like to have the water bottle carrier up on the strap there. And then these are just when I take a break and I use it to fill up from there. But if you were a PCT guy, you could put 2 liters in each of these side pockets. That's 4 liters. And you've seen me carry the full liter on there. There's 6 liters that you could carry in the desert if you need to have that. Now the downside of this pack, I think because it's the biggest one, it'll fit a couple of different size bear canisters in it. I think if I remember right, the specs on it will go to 40 pounds. I routinely have 32.5 with 2 liters in my food. It complains on my body that it's a little too heavy, and it feels like it's a little over what it wants to be able to carry for you. It really is at 30, it really likes to be 30 pounds and below. With the 3 liters that I've been carrying recently, because of the lack of water, I would say it's probably at 35, and it doesn't like to ride real well. It likes to rock back and forth a lot, and I have to continually be kind of tweaking the straps and making adjustments, and the load lifters don't quite ride like I would like them to as a result. Now this is a medium pack. I did all the measurements and everything like the Osprey told me to do, and it came right on the edge of being a medium. That was the same with my Osprey. So the ULA, both the ULA and Osprey, I think were mediums, but they were right at the edge. Maybe to do it over again, I may have gone with a large. But anyway, so that's kind of the down and dirty on this pack. This webbing here is much more substantial than what my friend Jesse had. on his arc haul by Z-Packs. As a matter of fact, he ended up getting wear holes in it after 3 or 4 days just from the corner of a plastic squeeze, you know, Sawyer squeeze thing, just rubbing it, and it put a couple of holes in it. This seems to be much more durable than what they've got. I've never really used any of this compression stuff yet. It's there. I suppose at some point in time, you know, if the summer rains, you might have socks on the back trying to dry it as you're hiking, but I have not used those yet. So, all right. Questions, comments, things I may have forgotten to address, let me know. This was for a lot of the subscribers that were asking about which one I like. I like both of them. Right now I'm sticking with the ULA, and we'll see how it continues to hold up.